Kia ora, Beck here. Just wanting to share with you the Reading and Writing Hub that I have available, just because a few teachers that are already using it currently have said it's been a lifesaver for the lockdown. And I also know there's lots out there for maths, but there's not as much out there for literacy. So it's designed specifically for the New Zealand curriculum for levels 1 to 4, and the content has come from the Literacy Learning Progressions, ES Still Writing, and the New Zealand Curriculum Achievement Objectives for English. It covers 8 key writing skills and 11 key reading skills. Each skill has sets of specific targets or learning goals or learning outcomes at 7 different levels. Here you can see how the reading skills work according to common New Zealand curriculum assessments. And here's how the writing steps align to year levels, the old national standards that people are familiar with, ES Still Writing levels, and also the New Zealand curriculum levels. Also, something really helpful for the lockdown is each target is explained further in Kids Speak. There's 2 examples there. And this helps the students understand what the targets mean because we're not there to unpack it with them. And for the targets that would benefit from a little bit more explanation, there's some examples of what the expectation actually is. Now each target has got resources and videos, games, activities and worksheets for the students to learn about it, practice it and prove it. Overall there's hundreds of videos, hundreds of games and heaps of activities to save you having to search for them all and load them all up yourself. Because they're all linked up to the specific targets, the students and the parents will know what they're learning about and why. Let's take a look at reading first. So if we click on reading, you can see here that the children can either click on the step that they're working on, or if we scroll down you can see the reading skills that the hub covers. So we've got develop reading attitudes and behaviours, find and assess sources of information, and of course decoding text, as well as a lot of the other comprehension strategies that you'll commonly use and teach in your classroom. Going further down, we can click on this little part here and it'll take us to a section that explains each of those skills for the students. So if I scroll down a little bit, let's go with making connections. So the children can click on this video and it will play and tell them all about what making connections is all about. It's really helpful for parents too.
Making connections is thinking about what we already know. It's using it to help understand something new, to help our reading grow.
So there's videos for all of the reading skills on the hub. But let's have a look back at a child who is, let's go with step 5. So if we scroll back up, they're on step 5, which is mid to late level 2 of the curriculum. And you might have told them to go and have a look and work on finding author's purpose. So they'll come in here, and in this section you'll see at the top there's 3 targets for this particular step. All the targets are different depending on the step, and you'll see that it says the specific targets here. It explains it in Kids Speak what that actually means down here, plus there's a video that reads that aloud to students who might struggle to read it themselves. And then if we go down a little bit further, you can see there's also a self-evaluation for step 5, finding the author's purpose. And the children can click on this just right here and it'll take them to this document, which gives the target right here. Decide whether an author's purpose is to entertain, inform or persuade by using clues or evidence in the text. And then here, right here is your Kids Speak, explaining what that target actually means. And there's also, just below that, an example that would be what that looks like from the children's point of view. And there's also over here a bit of an evaluation that the children can keep track of their progress. Now there's these forms for every step from step 4 to step 7 and for each of the skills. So there's a lot of sort of teaching information in there that you'll be able to provide to parents, but also to the students who want to really get on and improve in their reading. Now, of course, just telling them all about it isn't going to be enough. So on each skill at each step, there's resources, videos, games, activities and worksheets for the students to learn it. So you can see some here. Some activities and games and things for them to practice it. And then down the bottom, 2 quizzes the children can take to prove it and see if they've actually understood what it is that they're learning. And down here they can mark those themselves, which is quite handy. So let's have a look at the writing section of the hub. It's organised along the same lines as the reading. You can see here there's your 7 steps and you've got how they align to New Zealand curriculum levels. And in writing, it's these 8 skills here, which will be very familiar to those of you using EST or writing, for example, or any of the rubrics associated with that. Now, if we come into this section here, you'll find some rather catchy videos that do explain what each of the writing family of 8, what each skill is actually all about. So let's have a look at Donald the donkey, who is the character associated with vocabulary.
I'm Donald the donkey. I have vocabulary to burn. I know just the perfect word whenever it is my turn.
You get the general idea. And there's 8 videos there explaining each of the characters and what they do. If we go a little bit further, you can see it explains the 3 biggest jobs, and it also has some questions and things that the children need to be thinking about as they're working on that skill. Now let's have a look at what the children can do and how they can use the hub. So let's say a student goes into writing and you've had a chat with them and explained that they need to go into step 4. And perhaps, particularly during lockdown, doing some of the surface feature stuff is a really good idea. So get them to go into sentences and punctuation. And you can see here at step 4 that we've got 5 targets for the children to be working on. You've got your explanation down here about what those targets actually mean, the video of it being read to the students, and the self-evaluation form that also gives them a little bit more extra detail to help them in their learning. And if we scroll down a little bit, here's all the material for the children to learn it, practice it, and prove it. So this section is to help them start their sentences with different words and start to vary the length of my sentences. You've got some videos there, an activity for them to do, and a wee prove it task. Down further, this one's about compound sentences, a video to watch, some games and activities to practice, and a prove it task. And if we keep going down, this one's talking about tenses, present and past tense, games there to practice and to prove it. And this one is the 4BP, or basic punctuation, using them correctly. Kids can never get enough of that. And lots of videos there, games, and there's other games at other levels for that as well. And at step 4, they're also looking at contractions for not and those that use I. So there's activities in there and videos and things for them to learn it, practice it, and prove it. And the last thing I want to show you before you have a look through the sample site is the Mint task section. Something really cool for the kids to be doing while they're at home. But integrated tasks from across the curriculum, and you've basically got your 4 levels of curriculum here. So we'll jump in the top level this time at level 4 and have a look. What comes up for the kids is this page here, And it's under this little inquiry type approach that's got the 5 Ds. There's a planner that'll come up in this little box that the children can use to plan out their MINT task and guide them through an inquiry process essentially. But if we just scroll down, we can see there's a whole range of activities that the children can choose from, and each of these sets the scene and gives the children a problem to solve or a situation in which they need to create or innovate something, or perhaps it's just something that they need to judge or decide. And there should be something, there's 20 different ones for each level, there should be something that most students might be interested in. The Hub is a one-time only payment of $600 per school. There's no ongoing costs or subscriptions or any further payment. You can view the sample site using the address there, bit.ly/Literacy Hub. It's a very small part of the full site, but you'll get the general idea. And if you have any questions or queries, please email me, beck@idealeducation.nz. Mā te wā.